The screen fades in from black, not with storm or sunlight, but with the warm glow of candlelight. The Abbey's halls are quiet now, bathed in soft gold, every corner carrying the hush of farewell. The music returns, not grand, not heavy, but simple. A single violin joined by a faint piano. This is not the sound of battle or triumph. It is the sound of goodbye. Voiceover. Gentle, almost whispering. Even the greatest stories must learn how to say farewell. We see the last images of each world within Downton. The kitchen, empty but spotless, as though the staff has stepped away one final time. The library, where books line the shelves, their spines telling centuries of knowledge and memory. The drawing room, chairs perfectly arranged, the fire still glowing though no one sits to enjoy it. Then the people. A servant placing the final cover over polished silver. A daughter taking her father's arm as they walk through the gardens one last time. Two hands clasping in silence, holding on a second longer before letting go. The pacing slows. The film no longer rushes with secrets or storms. It breathes with memory. Faces appear in fragments, smiles, tears, glances that speak louder than words. The Abbey no longer feels like a stage for conflict, but a vessel of everything that has passed through it. Voiceover. For those who lived within its walls, and for those who watched from beyond them, Downton will remain. The final images unfold like a curtain closing. The Abbey lit by hundreds of candles in its windows, glowing against the night as if it refuses to fade. The camera pulls back slowly, higher and higher, until the estate becomes a small light in the vast landscape. The music swells one last time, lifting, holding, and then dissolving into silence. Words rise across the black screen. Every story ends, but the memory lives on. The title appears, strong and unshakable. Downton Abbey, the grand finale. And below, in quiet white letters, only in theaters September 12th. The sound of the violin fades into the distance, like a memory carried on the wind. The screen opens to silence, not storm, not music, just stillness. The Abbey stands in twilight, its towers outlined against a fading sky. It looks eternal, yet there is a gentleness in its frame now, as if it knows its role has been fulfilled. A hush falls over the land, like the final breath before the curtain closes. Voiceover, measured, calm, yet resolute. This is where the story ends. The camera glides slowly through the great hall one last time. Empty chairs line the dining table. Polished silver gleams but remains untouched. The staircase rises into shadows, no footsteps following its path. The chandeliers sparkle overhead, proud, dignified, refusing to dim. Every room tells the same truth. The life inside has passed, but the memory will remain. Fleeting visions appear, like fragments of dreams. A family gathered in laughter, a couple stealing a kiss under candlelight, a servant carrying a tray with quiet pride, children running through sunlit gardens. These images blur into one another, glowing like echoes of all that once was. Then slowly they fade into the stillness of the Abbey's walls. Voiceover, gentle, final. Every ending is also a beginning, but this one belongs to time. The camera pulls away from the Abbey, higher and higher, until it becomes only a speck of light against the rolling countryside. The music returns, soft strings, steady, rising not in grandeur, but in grace. On the black screen, words appear, glowing softly. Downton Abbey, the grand finale. Then, in sharper letters that cut through the silence, only in theaters September 12th. A pause. The music lingers, one final note stretching into silence, refusing to let go. Voiceover, whisper, farewell, Downton. The screen fades to black. Total silence. The story has ended. The screen fades to black. A single piano note echoes in silence, soft and haunting. Then a whispering voice cuts through the dark. Voiceover. Every story must find its ending. The shadow of Downton Abbey emerges slowly through a misty morning. The grand estate glows in the early light, standing proud yet fragile, as if it knows its own time is slipping away. The camera glides over the rolling hills of Yorkshire, soft rays of sunlight spilling across the land. Birds rise into the sky as the abbey comes into view, majestic, timeless, and waiting. Inside, the chandeliers are lit, their glow spilling over polished marble floors. The sound of footsteps echoes through the great hall. A letter is delivered, sealed with urgency, placed gently upon a silver tray. Voiceover. For generations, this house has carried the weight of history, a home of family, of tradition, of secrets too great to tell. The scene shifts. Lady Mary steps through the corridor, her silhouette caught by the light of a tall window. Her face, unreadable, hides both strength and sorrow. Downstairs, the loyal staff prepare for yet another gathering. Silver polished, wine poured, tables set with flawless detail. Yet beneath the order lies tension. As glances are exchanged, unspoken words hang heavy in the air. Quick cuts break the calm. The slam of a door, the shuffle of papers, a whispered warning. The music swells, strings pulling at the heart, layering mystery upon beauty. Voiceover. But time spares no one, and even Downton cannot stand untouched. The screen flashes, an old photograph burning in a fireplace, a carriage rushing across the gravel path, a hand clutching a hidden letter. Then silence, only the ticking of a clock. A close-up of the Abbey's grand clock, the hands moving forward, each second a reminder that endings are near. The camera pulls away into the vast estate, its halls still filled with life, but with shadows of change waiting at every corner. Voiceover, softly. The final chapter begins now. Fade to black. The Abbey stands in the twilight, its windows glowing against the fading sky. But inside, the glow hides unease. The corridors are alive with whispers, the kind that slip beneath doors and climb the staircases. A butler pauses mid-step as he overhears two voices behind closed doors. A single line escapes. If this is revealed, everything crumbles. The camera cuts sharply to a hand opening a sealed letter. The paper trembles, not from the wind, but from the weight of its contents. The music grows darker, strings drawn out, low and heavy. A storm brews over the estate, the wind pushing against the old stone walls as though testing their strength. Voiceover. The world beyond Downton moves faster than these walls can contain. Change is coming, and no one can escape it. We glimpse Lady Edith staring into a mirror, her reflection split by candlelight, one half lit, the other drowned in shadow. Lord Grantham walks the empty dining room, brushing a hand across the chairs where voices once filled the air. The silence speaks louder than words. Suddenly the pace quickens, the clatter of carriage wheels racing along the gravel drive. A soldier's uniform folded away in a chest, hidden but never forgotten. A whispered confrontation in the garden. You must choose where your loyalty lies. The strings swell, urgency rising with every image. The staff exchange hurried looks downstairs, their loyalty pulled in two directions. Upstairs, the family faces decisions that will shape not just their own lives, but the very survival of the Abbey itself. Voiceover. Love will be tested. Bonds will break. Secrets long buried will rise again. The screen flashes with moments too quick to settle. A hand gripping a wine glass until it shatters. A woman in tears rushing down the grand staircase. The Abbey doors thrown wide open to a storm outside. The music cuts suddenly. Silence. But for the echo of a child's laughter in an empty corridor. The sound lingers, haunting, fragile, as the camera glides through the Abbey's long halls, empty but filled with memory. Voiceover, firm, resonant. Downton has weathered storms before, but never like this. The camera pulls back, leaving the Abbey surrounded by thunderclouds, its great windows still glowing. A fragile beacon in the gathering dark, rain taps against the tall windows of the Abbey as the halls grow dim. A single candle flickers, its flame bending to every draft, as though mirroring the lives within these walls. The music softens, strings now tender, almost fragile. This is not the sound of grandeur but of hearts breaking, mending and breaking again. Voiceover, soft, intimate. When love is tested, when loyalty falters, what remains? We see Lady Mary standing by a window, her hand pressed to the glass, watching the storm outside. A tear slips down her cheek, but her face holds steady. Strength over sorrow. In the courtyard, two figures embrace in secret, their shadows stretching long under the lantern light. In the drawing room, laughter rings out at dinner, but the camera lingers on one pair of eyes, distant, lost in thought. The tone shifts, slower cuts, deeper emotion. A soldier's medal is placed carefully on a mantelpiece, a reminder of sacrifices long past. A wedding dress is lifted from its box, the fabric glowing against the dimly lit room. Children's footsteps echo down a hallway, followed by the soft call of a mother's voice. These moments feel eternal yet fleeting, as if they're already memories. Voiceover. At Downton, joy and sorrow live side by side, and both leave their mark. The music swells gently now, carrying warmth, carrying ache. A hand clasps another across a table. A letter is read in silence, the words never spoken aloud. A father places his hand on his daughter's shoulder, a bond too deep for speech. The Abbey, for all its walls and history, is revealed as nothing without the people who love and lose within it. The pace slows again. The Abbey's great staircase stretches upward, empty, but filled with echoes. The camera glides upward, catching fragments of memory. Children playing, a couple dancing, a family gathered at Christmas. These ghosts of happiness hover like breath in winter air. The storm has broken. Thunder roars across the sky as the Abbey stands, proud yet trembling beneath the weight of fate. The camera races through its corridors, once calm, now alive with urgency. Footsteps echo, doors slam, voices rise. The music, no longer tender, crashes like waves, every note pulling tighter, faster, heavier. Voiceover, deep, resolute. The end has come, and nothing will ever be the same. Quick flashes ignite the screen. A carriage rushing through the gates in the dead of night. A confrontation in the great hall. Two figures facing off with words sharper than blades. A secret revealed in gasps and silence. The weight of truth crashing down like the storm outside. The Abbey itself becomes a character, its walls quivering with the sound of arguments, tears and laughter that once filled it. The chandeliers sway, the clock strikes, the storm rattles the windows as if trying to break through. Voiceover. Every choice demands a sacrifice, every legacy, an ending. The sequence accelerates. A glass shatters, a kiss stolen in shadow, a letter torn in two, a hand reaching out but never grasping the one it seeks. Each moment collides into the next, a kaleidoscope of endings and beginnings. Then, silence. Just the toll of the Abbey's great bell. The screen lingers on its face, the pendulum swinging. Time has run out. The camera pulls back, lifting higher and higher until Downton Abbey itself is seen in full, surrounded by storm clouds but lit from within, as though defying the darkness pressing against it. The music swells one last time, rising toward triumph and heartbreak in equal measure. The words appear in bold, commanding letters. The storm passes. Dawn breaks gently over the hills, and Downton Abbey rises in golden light, its stone walls kissed by the first rays of morning. The estate looks unchanged, yet everything within has been altered. The air feels heavier, filled with echoes of what has been lost, and whispers of what will never return. Voiceover, quiet, reflective. Time moves forward, but the heart remembers. The camera drifts through empty rooms, the dining hall set for a feast that has already ended, chairs neatly tucked as though awaiting guests who will never return. In the nursery, a toy horse rests on its side, abandoned mid-play, frozen in memory. The grand staircase stretches upward, its steps worn by generations who walked them, their laughter and sorrow now part of its stone. Suddenly, we see flashes of what was. Family dinners bursting with life, dances lit by chandeliers, servants hurrying with purpose, children running through gardens. These moments appeared not as they are now, but as recollections, blurred at the edges, like fragments of a dream that lingers after waking. Voiceover. Downton was never just a house. It was the lives that shaped it, the love that bound it, the legacy that endures. The music softens to a single piano melody, rising slowly with strings, not grand, but tender, intimate. The screen shows Lady Mary walking across the lawn, the Abbey behind her, its towers glowing in the morning. She pauses, looking back one last time. Her face is unreadable, strong, proud, but touched by farewell. A sweeping aerial shot pulls back, the Abbey shrinking in the distance, surrounded by green fields and endless sky. For the first time, the house does not dominate the world. It simply belongs to it. Voiceover, final, steady. Every story finds its ending, but some stories become forever. The screen turns black. In silence, the final words appear in white, bold letters.